Alright everyone, welcome back to some more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and it seems like the background is now set in Sholmes' home, or his suite as we call it. But right now guys, we are pretty much in the, what you call the relaxing phase at the moment. We're about to hit something big in the story soon, so hope you all continue to enjoy watching, and well, let's get to it. Alright guys, and we are back. Look at Sholmes right now. Alright, so we spoke to Sholmes already. Alright, who else? Speak to Iris. Oh, we spoke to Iris already about Wagahai. Let's check out his violin. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music, to tolerate this blanched existence? No. There is none. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? Hmm? What do you mean, Mr. Sato? Oh, Susie's right. Yes. The tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Then what? Don't tell me it's a ukulele. I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. Oh, okay. What? 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 Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you alright? You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So, what, pray, is this piece of stringed flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then. Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Oh, so we gotta talk. I can't believe we have to talk to her. She won't even tell us outright. Alright, mix-up, let's find out. What did you mean by mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this this viola, I mean, was at a Windibank's until last week. At the Pawnbrokery? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There's a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea! Last week I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Windibank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw, a fine state of affairs this is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker, they will try to fiddle you every time. But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, pressing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced? We must visit Mr. Winterbank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Mrs. Sato. Without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs! My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly bacon aspect, to fresh your egg ever more obtusely. Alright, say no more. Let's go then. Don't worry, Bruno. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like. So how did someone like Sholmes get and end up having his own violin mixed up with a viola? Unbelievable. Alright. Let's move on now. A new location has been added. Alright, we need to head to Baker Street first too. Let's check it out. Ah, the pawnbroker's right here. Look at all the different things in the window of the shop. Ah, that's Winterbank's, the pawnbrokery. It looks much smarter than pawnbrokers in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable personally. It reminds me of a tearfully parting with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo. I like how he partied with a pen. Not just any pen, a fountain pen. Can we go? No. Oh, we can't converse. We actually have to go inside the Winterbank Pawnbrokery then. April 15, Winterbank's Pawnbrokery. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my! There are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before. Ah, Chisato-san, and that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, and he's geared up now. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Winterbank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Alright, let's converse with the guy. Naturally, you'll recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes. This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Winterbank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. I shall have to take my own life. Wow, let's not go that far, bro. You saw how fast he moved, too? Like, holy cow. I don't think that will be necessary. Do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Ah, yes. It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, ah, here it is. You did? And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, stop, dear fellow! This fault is mine! The fault is mine! Phew. It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windibank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I need to remind you of the peculiar collection of items you brought through my door in the past. Oh? Peculiar items? In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of the eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes or some such. Oh my! A new, full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean? Ah! Forgive me! Wait! Before you die, you must tell me more! Well, as long as Hisato kinda cares, you know. What's more important is that she gets that unpublished story read in her hands. The unpublished story. Let's go. Let's check it out. I must know more. Tell me everything. Wow, Susato-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windibank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon? A manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life. This is all very strange. My guy here still has the gun to his head like a fool. I just noticed that big... Look at that big bow tie, man. I wonder, could I ask you something? Ah, a gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 Guinness, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say. Oh my, 5 Guinness, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? You have, sir. You may well have, as well as an offense. Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that the pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you described. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure storage. If, in that time, they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. But what happens if they don't pay you the money? Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then? That's right, ma'am. That's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulder. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. Why is that always the solution to everything, dude? The very idea of Mr. Windibank is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? I engineered a simple device that Mr. Windibank has installed here in his shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windibank? What was that deep sigh about? The red-handed recorder. What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. Oh, look at that. That's at 4 AM. Ah yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive, it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it, look. So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But, did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. Then what if the incident were to occur in between times? One could only say, that would be cruel twist of fate. I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Winterbank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You must graciously place not one, but 2 cameras in my shop after all. Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, you know? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us! Now then, Mr. Sholmes. Allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Winterbank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry, I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not necessarily true, good sir. That's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Winterbank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last. That's true. You know? Check out his desk. Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there. Mr. Winterbank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. The revolver here. Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Winterbank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed belying his portly size. Oh, you don't mean he'd... blow his brains out? Indeed, in recompense for his blunder. Oh my. But in any case, of course you would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it? Wow, okay. Oh, we can examine his curtain too. There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. That leads to the storage room where Mr. Winterbank keeps articles that are currently in pawn. Ah, I see. There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any larcenous activity. Recommend it or not, it's not something I tend to do. There is but one key, and Mr. Winterbank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot which he slides under his pillow. Why are you telling me all this? How? How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Sholmes? I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain. Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder. And the prime suspect of this pawnbrokery is ever burgled. Wonder what else we can check out here. Oh, music box. What an assortment of things there are on those shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you can imagine. Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn or colloquially pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing. Oh yes, now that you've explained it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest in the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform? Never! It embodies my student spirit. That's funny. Alright, oh no, we went over this already. Where else can I look around on? Hold on. I'm gonna... Did I check everything here already? Are we good? Oh, check out the clocks. Look at this! What could this lovely big shiny box be? That, my dear madam, is a music box. I thought it was a clock I clicked on. Surely you have such things in your own country. Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before. Shall we listen a while? Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played. My goodness, what a simply delightful machine. Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course. Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. Alright, I think we're good. What else can we look at? Oh, this. Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you're looking at is a stereoscope. Fascinating. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself. Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look. Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today. Alright then, I'm gonna try it. What happened to her? Mr. Naruhodo, you must see, at once! Oh, alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed like I'm trying to look at my own nose? What the? I don't believe it! It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic? It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Wow, even the great Herlock Sholmes can't even bring himself to explain this? Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. Until the next one.